And we are live. Hi, sweet friend. Today we're going to be doing a Hatch Pepper cocktail. Volta loves Hatch Peppers.
That's so good.
Are these actually the mild ones? These are supposed to be mild.
Yeah, not spicy at all. So much flavor though.
Yeah, it tastes like a green pepper, but with
But better.
Let me talk with my mouth full. Yeah, that tastes just like a green pepper with just a little bit of spice. For this cocktail, don't get mild Hatch peppers. Get medium. They don't come spicy. But we're making a spicy, smoky Hatch Daiquiri. I know what you're thinking. These are peppers. They're roasted. It should be smoky. Why aren't you making something with tequila or mezcal and a margarita?
Why, Dan, why?
I'm not going to follow the herd. I'm not just going to blend in with the crowd. I want to do something different. And I've got this rum agricole that I always want to have an excuse to use. Rum agricole, the only recipe you see it in are Mai Tais or Hemingway daiquiris. However, it's got this nice grassy sweetness to it, assuming you can find it. Pairs really well with a smoked medium Hatch pepper. And we're also going to pick up some other notes of things that you think of at a cookout, grilling. So we're going to put some corn in there, the sweet nixta. And then overlay all that with some almond notes, with the toasted almonds and an orgeat.
So this is essentially like a daiquiri,
Yeah.
right?
So a daiquiri cocktail is defined as rum, citrus, sweetener. Basically a margarita, but instead of tequila, you use rum. It's one of the big 6 cocktails. I don't know what the actual 6 are, but like the mother sauces. In cooking, you have the mother cocktails.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So daiquiri is one of those. But before I start rambling on about cocktails and everything, Volta, you're excited about Hatch Chili's.
Yes.
And it's the Hatch Festival.
It is. In case you guys aren't familiar, Hatch peppers, they come from New Mexico, from the city of Hatch. For them to be Hatch peppers, they must come from that region. So that's like a very important part, because they're saying that, you know, the flavors of the soil, or the soil and like the environment just creates this unique type of flavor that's only like available in Hatch peppers.
You call that terroir if you're being pretentious.
Sure, terroir, but
I can really taste the terroir in this.
And the thing is, we've lived in Texas for like almost a decade, and I've always seen like the hype about Hatch peppers, but I never actually, I'm so sad to say I never tried it before this year, and as soon as I tried it, I was just like hooked. I mean, I've eaten Hatch pancakes, Hatch cookies, Hatch chocolate things.
We made Hatch Santa Fe this morning.
I mean,
we made Hatch, I guess, griddle cakes.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a unique and awesome flavor. Highly recommended. And actually, this cocktail is probably my all-time favorite that you've created. I love like a savory, not too sweet, and this is just like got enough complexity kind of cocktail. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Although it tastes good, but the skin is pretty thick. So you do
so
want to
typically
roast these.
people would roast them. Yeah. So I know we like are eating them raw kind of right now, but usually you'd roast them, definitely.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to have a gas stove or a burner or something along those lines, put the thing right in the flame, rotate it. Only takes about a minute. You want it charred. You want it completely black. And then you throw it in a paper bag or underneath a bowl, and the steam will just pull the skin right off of it.
And then you clean off the skin.
Yes, you peel that off.
So you don't eat it with like those char spots.
Which we happen to have some right here of the medium peppers.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
That is the good
Well, I
stuff.
have it in a bag. Hatch drug dealer over here. So yeah, so we're just going to take a strip. So let's get started on the cocktail. How about
Alright,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. What we're going to do, we don't need, I'm not a big fan of letting stuff sit in alcohol unless you have to. Again, fat soluble stuff or fats that are alcohol soluble really need to sit. So if you're doing a bacon infusion, yes, you do need to let that sit in alcohol, but if you're just trying to do something that's very, very soluble in alcohol, like capsaicin and smoke, you do not need to let that rest very long. So all I'm doing is just chopping this up fine so that there's plenty of surface area, but not so fine that it will pass through a sieve. So I do not want the chunks to be smaller than this, but I do want them almost that small. Where's the other part of my shaker? I'm just going to dump these right into the shaker.
Oh, hi Andrew. Hi Patricia. Tiffany, welcome.
Yeah, cheers, folks. So we're going to take that rum agricole, and we are going to put 1 ounce into our drink, and I guess I'm making this a double because I got excited and just did 2 ounces. I was using the other side a second ago. So ignore what I'm pouring and listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
1 ounce of rum agricole, and then 3/4 ounce Nixta. If you can't find Nixta, you could do kind of a combination of simple syrup and maybe add some corn into here. But yeah, I'd seek out Nixta. It's not very expensive. It acts as a good sweetening, but also that savory complexity that you get from corn.
I mean, you're definitely getting like your veggies worth. Again, we're
Yeah.
making like a salad for a cocktail. You get
Salad
corn,
you can drink.
peppers, almonds from the.
Almonds? Why not? Yeah. Yeah. Always love Nixta. And then we're going to just squeeze out that lemon a little bit. We're using a wheel as a decoration, so cut that out first. Make sure the seeds won't get loose. And then squeeze it in. I would do a 1/2 ounce lemon juice to taste. For this, you could probably use lime as well, or even orange. You can just do a mixture. Whatever type of citrus you like, go nuts. I don't judge, play around.
Yeah.
It's like painting.
It's all an experiment, guys.
Yeah. Always happy accidents.
And this is like a Dan original cocktail,
Yeah,
right?
I've
Because
not seen this cocktail anywhere.
I basically
made
came
this
to
up.
Dan and I was like, I love Hatch peppers. It needs to go into a cocktail. So please make it happen.
Yes, and now
And
we
he
just
did.
gotta let that sit, permeate a bit. Because we're got a high ratio of liquid because apparently I'm doing a double. I'm gonna muddle it a bit just to get the rest of those juices out. Yeah, Dane. Always plenty of food groups. What is Virginia saying wash hands.
Oh, I think she's using an emoji.
Oh, okay. Wash ass. It's coming through. I thought she was like, you need to wash your hands before you cook.
It's an emoji.
Georgetta, I wash my hands before the show. Thank you very much. Although that is a good point. Good pro tip, if you're handling hot food like this, wash your hands and you can rub them down with a little lemon juice because that helps separate the capsaicin, whichever one you want to use it,
That's good to know.
from your fingers. So
The last
no
ingredient,
surprises
right?
later. Yes. So orgeat.
Yeah, tell people about orgeat because it's, I don't know, it's not a very common ingredient.
Yeah, you come across it a lot in tiki cocktails. It's you toast almonds and then you infuse it in syrup and you just blend it up and you end up with orgeat.
Sounds really hard.
Yes, you can make it yourself. Sure, I don't have time for that. I always do a Liber. I think there's also one called 4 or 5 Suns that's really good. But yeah, I use this as a replacement for simple syrup in a lot of cocktails. Adds a bit of extra flavor. And we're gonna do a 1/2 ounce of this. It also adds kind of a cool opaqueness to a cocktail.
So Tiffany was asking what the Hatch pepper tastes like.
Yeah, so imagine a green pepper, but a little more vegetal.
Mm-hmm.
So like a green pepper tends to have like a crispiness, but just kind of that little undercurrent of pepper. Hatch pepper takes that and sort of turns it up. Now,
it's not as spicy as a jalapeno,
no,
I would say.
Well,
sometimes.
The medium one, the mild one, so there's 2 variations. You can have the medium one that tastes just like a turned up green pepper.
Mm-hmm.
The medium one, on the other hand, the mild one is a turned up green pepper. A
Yeah.
medium one is, I'd say, almost as spicy as the jalapeno.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, that one's fun. I much prefer the medium ones, but if you're doing like...
I just realized, last night I had a burger
Yeah.
at Rodeo Goat. Hashtag Rodeo Goat.
Yeah.
They had a Hatch burger and it was not spicy, and I was expecting it to be spicy because I thought, well, this was Hatch peppers, but they definitely use the mild ones. I mean, medium ones.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Am I allowed to say the name of my favorite one?
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Hot Bastard.
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
That's the name.
Yeah.
Of the burger.
Oh, I got that.
It is really good.
It's the greatest
Very
burger in the
spicy.
world. There are very, very, very few. I was talking to Bolt about this last night. There are very, very few dishes at restaurants that I'll go to, and I'll just say, I don't care what else is on the menu, I'm getting this. When we go to Rodeo Goat, a Hot Bastard,
Yeah.
impossible meat, Hot Bastard, that
Yeah.
is my meal.
So good.
Whew. It is an adventure. It's a roller coaster. I have a high tolerance to hot food. That thing is spicy. It'll make me sweat.
Well, I can't eat a whole burger like that. I just will have a bite, and that's plenty for me.
Yes.
But it's so good.
And we're just going to take our rocks glass and add a couple of fat ice cubes to it. Keep going there. And this is going to be a big cocktail, so I'm going to cut it in half after I pour. Just take it and we double strain because we have all the chunks of pepper in it. Oh yeah.
That is a double portion, right?
That is a double portion, yes. That way we each get one.
Yes.
I'll split it up for you afterwards. Wow, that is big.
Yeah, that
Woo.
is.
That's a
A little
party.
more than what I'm painting in my watercolor painting. But
Yes. Make it just for the art first.
yeah.
And then we take it, and I am going to... I wanted to smoke this guy, but I guess I can just...
Yeah.
How can I make it look like you're painting?
This one.
Just plop it in.
Probably.
Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
that. We should wash it first. Can you wash that guy? Didn't plan ahead very well. Weren't there toothpicks? I'll just put it. I'll just make a wedge on the side. I'll just do it like that.
Yeah, there we
Got
go.
a nice wedge there
It's
on
very
the
similar
side.
to what I'm painting.
And then plop. So somebody has a nice little
Nice.
snack.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a salad.
Yeah.
And then there you go. There you have it. The hatchery. The Hatch Daiquiri. Do you care for a sip?
I will have a sip.
I still think it's better with a grilled blackened pepper because it adds a little bit of flavor to it.
The smokiness.
Yeah,
The
but there's
aroma.
still some smoke
Yeah.
to it.
Definitely. This is another one of those 2-sip cocktails. Like, it's very good.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's like your version of the Clean Plate Club.
Yes.
If you take two sips. Oh,
it's
yes.
delicious. Yeah,
Oh,
it just like has
smokiness.
the perfect amount of spice, like in the back of your throat. It's very like comforting in a weird way. So yeah, if you're a fan of savory cocktails, like this is great. I believe the Hatch peppers are only in season August through September, so they might be kind of coming up to an end. If you get a chance, if you see them in the store anywhere, grab them because they're not gonna last forever, or it's gonna. I'm very sad because I'm hoping to like save some of these peppers, but they're not spicy enough. I'm gonna have to go back and get the spicy ones.
Yeah, and then you can
freeze them up.
Yeah,
for
and
the
you
rest
can
of the year.
char them, peel them, freeze them.
Yeah.
They'll keep forever.
Yeah. Well, until the next season, anyway.
Yeah, well, you'll eat them. They'll last as long as you can not eat them.
Thank you, Dane. He posted a link to
Yeah.
Rodeo Go. Love that place. All right, Dan, shall we paint the cocktail now?
Yeah, but I'm enjoying this.
I remember. Oh, you just separated. I was like,
Yes.
save some for me.
Yes, that one is for you. All right, so now we switch.
All right.
I was thinking I could touch screen the transition, but it didn't work.
Did you transition?
Yes, you are transitioning.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So real quick, guys, I actually have a couple of book copies on my hands, and I've added them to my website. So if you would like to get a copy, you can find them at colorsnag.com. And also, I've listed these watercolor palettes, which is like a co-branded set with Viviva. They're the color sheets that I've used in the past. So yeah, check them out if you'd like some watercolor supplies. Otherwise, can you make sure we can see the comments?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we'll get started with this cocktail. It's gonna look, fairly similar to like some of the ones that we've done in the past. Sorry, having a little bit of technical difficulty. It popped out of the thing.
What have you done?
I don't know. Sorry. All right, yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry guys. So the shape of the glass is essentially going to be similar to what we've done in the past. So there's going to be two parallel lines, and then curved line at the bottom. And then, for the pepper, we'll do like a bunch of curved line here too, and then circular kind of shape for the lemon slice. Oh yeah, piece of paper.
Too?
Yeah, and here's a pencil for you if you want to sketch along.
Sure.
And also, yeah, did you see there's a brush, like a regular watercolor brush? I will need a paper towel. I forgot my towel. Thank you. So kind. All right.
I was getting that for myself.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start sketching. It's gonna go kind of like this, two parallel lines. And then we're gonna have two curved lines at the bottom, just slightly curved, not too big of a curve. Then another one that's gonna be just parallel, a little bit above it so that we can see that glass portion of the glass. And then at the top, we're gonna have another series of a slightly more curved line here, and then another one kind of like a mirror image, or you can kind of see it as like a very narrow type of oval shape at the top. All right, we got our glass shape, and then we're gonna do another kind of curved line here to show the contents of the drink, and then another one here. And then for the ice cube, so I did actually kind of like sketch out the cube here, and it's just gonna be like a little like a series of parallel lines, kind of like this. So almost like this shape is gonna resemble like a diamond rhombus shape, right? Ish. Yeah.
I guess.
And then we're gonna have several lines just coming downwards, just to kind of showcase that this ice cube is submerged in the drink.
I'm sure somebody can talk about the definition of a rhombus.
Rhombus.
I bet it's.
That sounds right.
I bet it's two sets of intersecting parallel lines. So
Yeah.
all diamonds are rhombuses, but not all rhombuses are diamonds. I'm guessing. That is pure speculation, said confidently.
All right, so we got our cocktail, the ice cube. Then I'm gonna sketch out the pepper, and you'll see here it's kind of like hanging off to the side. So it's just like a series, like a curved line, then another curved line. So as if it's like hanging off, and then a part of it is like kind of inside of the glass a little bit. So another kind of like slightly curved line here.
I like that ice cube effect.
Yeah. Very simple, right? Just that rhombus and a couple of lines. Let me see. Erase this line. So essentially, like the top part of the pepper is gonna be more rounded, and then we're gonna have like two little lines for that pepper stem that you typically see. And then let's see. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna sketch out a line that's gonna be kind of like the toothpick, and then right on top of the pepper we're gonna have a circular shape for our lemon slice. And that's just gonna, in the center we're gonna have kind of partition this lemon slice into little triangle shapes. Let me just adjust this real quick. All right, there we go. Little pizza slices on the lemon. And I think, yeah, I'm just gonna erase a few of these extra lines where kind of sketched over, but actually, yeah, the glass, this part is gonna be on top of the pepper because we wanna showcase that the pepper is like kind of hanging off to the side and it's kind of diving into the cocktail. This pepper's so excited for the cocktail.
Diving pepper.
Diving right in. Oh, did I forget my watercolor paints?
I guess I can get them.
If you don't
so
mind.
excited.
Yeah, in my studio.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get them all at once.
No, it's the white palette, Dan.
All of your palettes are white.
No, not all of them. I do apologize, sweet friends. I usually do have my watercolor paints right with me, and this one time I seem to have forgotten. So sorry. In the meantime, just wanted to take a moment and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope this inspires you to try maybe Hatch peppers, or even if you see like a new type of fruit or vegetable while you're grocery shopping. I highly recommend you just like try it out. Like, you never know what kind of fun flavors you could discover. I'm still shocked that it took me 10 years to find Hatch pepper, like to discover my love for them. Thank you. This is the palette.
Guess I'll use this other one. Or not.
Yeah, you can use mine. All right. So for the actual, like the drink part, I know it looks kind of very light on camera, but essentially the color is gonna be kind of like a yellowy green. So I'm gonna get a ton of yellow and kind of mix it in. I already had a little bit of green in my palette here, and I'm gonna dilute it with a lot of water. So it's essentially gonna be more yellow than green, just like a little bit of green in here, but a ton of water so that it's gonna be lighter in value, because the cocktail itself was fairly kind of had that lemony kind of look to it. And I'm just gonna start painting with my brush pen, and I am painting wet on dry, so I'm not adding water first. I'm just painting directly on the paper, the dry paper, and covering up this area. And also I want to add a little bit here where you can see like a bit of the drink, like this, the top surface part of it. And then for the ice cube, I'm going to use a little bit of the same kind of color mix and outline the ice cube just a little bit, so like it looks as if maybe add a couple of extra like brush strokes, but essentially I want it to look like, you know, it's picking up some of the color from the beverage, from the drink. All right, so we got that. Let's see, next we can work on the pepper, the fun part, yay. So for my greens, I actually like have a couple of greens in my palette, and I'm just gonna like mix them all up together to get kind of like a variation of like darker and warmer greens, cooler and warmer greens. It just makes for a fun kind of like, you know, it's not just one shade of green, it's just got a bunch of them together. So now I'm going to start painting the pepper. Also on dry, not adding water first, but just painting directly right here. Just going to cover this whole area. All right. Oh. What are you painting?
The cocktail
yeah,
itself.
That's the color, yeah. And then I'm going to clean off the brush. So I am using a brush pen, so it really helps to have a little paper towel or towel to like wipe it off. And then I'm going to lift off a couple, so I'm pressing down on the brush and lifting and then wiping. Pressing down, and again, essentially I'm removing some color so that I have few kind of tiny highlights on the pepper. And if you guys saw the Hatch peppers, they're very much like, they have curves and like they're kind of like crinkly or wrinkly. I don't know what's the best way to describe them, but they're not like, you know, perfect shapes. They're very organic, and there's lots of like curves that they have. So one way to represent that is to kind of have like a couple of shiny spots on the pepper where it looks like, you know, it's hitting the light source is coming from this direction, so it's like giving it a couple of like extra spaces for highlights. And then of course you can go back in and like punch up your darker areas with like another layer. Just drop in more color here. Always fun to do that. And then, all right, for now I'm gonna just let this pepper dry, and I'm gonna work on the lemon slice. Let's see here, I'm just gonna add a little bit more water in my palette and a little bit of yellow and dilute it so it's very, very like light. And I'm gonna use that to paint the inside of the lemon wheel. Then I'm gonna grab a little bit more color, more yellow, and just paint the rind. And we'll let that dry, and then we'll go back in and add a couple of little tiny details. In the meantime, we can outline the glass. Let's see, I'm gonna use my favorite color is Payne's Gray as far as like adding little shadows. So I'm gonna just dilute that with some water. I'm gonna grab some of that and just going to, oops, it's a little too dark, so I'm gonna clean off my brush. So if it happens that your brush stroke just happens, you know, accidentally is a little too dark, you can always clean off the brush and come in and like soften kind of like spread out that color and essentially like lift it off a little bit so it doesn't appear so dark. So I'm just outlining the glass, and I'm going to add a couple of extra brush strokes inside here to show, you know, some of those shadows peeking through. There we go. And then I also want to do a cast shadow. So for that I'm going to add a little bit more of the Payne's Gray so that it looks, there's a higher contrast. So it's much darker. Now I'm going to clean off the brush and I'm going to soften this edge. And at the top right here, so that way we have a nice kind of darker shadow that's formed from, you know, the light source is hitting our object from the left side, and it's casting a little shadow to the side, and it's just like a nice way to anchor your sketch on your paper, so it's not just like floating in the air. Let's see, this area, actually I'm gonna add another layer of this yellowy green, or like a little bit of green and yellow for the beverage. So I'm just gonna add, because it is looking a little too light, so I'm just gonna do one more layer here. There we go. And it also helps to have like a little bit of a difference in value in this area where you have the beverage, and then also this like top portion where you kind of like see some of the like surface of the drink, because it creates like a nice distinction between those two areas. Alright, so now I'm gonna grab some yellow and just gonna do tiny little specks, like little brush strokes to showcase like the texture on the lemon. Happy little lemon slice. And I'll probably outline the rind one more time, just so that it's a little bit more vibrant. So you'll notice if your watercolor dries and it looks a little too light for your taste, you know, you can always go back in, add another layer of color on top. Let's see, I'm actually going to mix in just a tiny bit of orange here to make these little textury spots like stand out a little bit more. Mine kind of bled through because this area hasn't dried. But if you're patient enough to let it dry and then go back in, then you'll have something like this where like you see the visible like little tiny brush strokes on there.
Happy accident.
Yeah, happy accident. All right, Dan, let me see your painting. I'm excited to see your Hatch cocktail draw.
Well, not as fast as you speak, Megan, but I tried my best.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, I love that yours is from a different side. And I really like how you've indicated texture on the pepper. Like I can see some highlights.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, really great. And I see like your light source is from the left side too. Yeah. So like there's a nice highlight here.
I was able to lift off.
Yeah. Oh, with the brush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you really prefer watercolor brushes over?
Much. I can hold a lot more paint on it, and I feel like I have more control.
Yeah. It's a matter of preference, really. I disagree.
Yes, I know. I don't have the skill that you do. I like to be. I'm still deliberate with what I do, whereas you're able to just, you know exactly what it is that you're gonna paint, and you know where your hand's gonna go. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Where am I gonna put my brush?
That is true. It does just take quite a bit of adjusting to get used to a brush pen like this. But like you can't argue the convenience of having water inside of the container.
No, I think part of that convenience is predicated upon knowing when you need water and not.
Yeah.
And as of right now, I'm not 100% sure of when I need to add water to a brush.
Okay. That's great feedback, though. I can work on like maybe telling you or helping you teach or helping you know when you need more water.
Yeah. See, to me, it's still it's paint that I happen to use water to make it the consistency of acrylic.
Yeah.
Other than the wet on wet stuff that we talk about. But most of the time, it's just okay. How do I get it the consistency of an acrylic paint?
Okay.
I add water to it.
All right. That's good to know. All right, sweet friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Shall we switch the camera?
Yes.
Before we say goodbye, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Tab to here. There's my mouse. Transition.
There we are. Thank you everyone. I just really love Hatch peppers in case you didn't know.
Something tells me you do. Maybe you've said it a few times.
They were green in honor of green peppers, so I hope this inspires you to try them out. Or even if you see like a Hatch salsa, because we did get a salsa.
Salsa, we got
That's
Hatch
like
peppers,
like
we
it's
got 4 of them.
it's already like bottled up or whatever, right? So like maybe you can get fresh ones, but if you find like a salsa with Hatch chilies, like grab it. It's so good. Thank you so much.
Otherwise, cheers, folks.
Yes. We'll be taking a break next week, but we'll be back the week after. So.
Unless there's overwhelming demand for me to have a live stream by myself, I don't think there will be. It would be a disaster.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Let me paint my favorite cartoon characters in watercolor.
That could be fun.
Yeah.